So welcome everybody to Therapeutic Yoga. We are going to do a Therapeutic Yoga class today starting in sitting. We'll then be moving down to our mat for the remainder of the class. Our focus today is going to be our chest, our shoulders, and our upper back. So one area that tends to get a lot of extra work when we're doing sitting, when we're reading, when we're doing a lot of this. I know maybe a lot of us are not doing a lot of driving right now, but it might be that you're doing a little bit more sitting and tasks with your hands than you normally do. So this class is for you. So what I thought we would do today, rather than start with a breathing exercise, I thought let's try something to kind of settle our minds. So we're going to actually do a technique that is kind of living in more of the psychotherapy world. So this isn't so much a yoga technique or a physical therapy technique. This is more of a mental health technique. And it is called 5-4-3-2-1 grounding. So it's not like 5-4-3-2-1 takeoff. It's really 5-4-3-2-1 grounding. So it's a good technique to do when your monkey brain is going in many different directions. It's also a really good technique to do when you're stressed or you're anxious and you just don't really feel like you can take the time to focus on your breath. So this is not so much a technique to focus on your breath. This is a technique to focus on your senses. So here's what I want you to do. Find yourself seated in your chair, feet nice and flat on the chair, and then make sure that you've got yourself not using the backrest. So make sure you've got space between your back and the back of the chair. Allow yourself in this position just to kind of roll forward and backward through your pelvis a few times. And as you do that, kind of feel where is that point where you're sitting just in front of those sit bones. Hold yourself in that position and then allow yourself to sit up nice and tall with your rib cage and then very slowly look at your knees. Once you're looking at your knees, keep your rib cage in that vertical position, lengthen through your neck and bring your head back up so that your neck, ears, shoulders, rib cage, hips all line up in a perfect vertical alignment. Now let's just do a little bit of a setting position of our shoulders. So right now, even though your hands are on your thighs, your shoulder blades are probably a little bit more forward than they need to be. So with your right shoulder, just very lightly shrug your right shoulder up. Allow your hand to turn like you're holding your palm open, and then just rotate your arm outward and then pull your shoulder blade back and down. Now, when you do that, don't let your rib cage fall backward or don't let your rib cage lift. Then with your left, gently let your shoulder shrug up a little bit. Turn your palm like you're holding a plate or a platter. And then just very slowly rotate your arm outward and pull your shoulder blades down. Now, before you do anything to place your hands back on your thighs, take a minute just to close your eyes and feel that you've got weight in your feet. So it might be a little difficult to try to pick your feet up off the ground. Feel that you feel weight in front of your sit bones. And if you feel like there is no weight in front of your sit bones yet, just kind of rock yourself slightly forward until you feel your weight in your feet and you feel weight in the front of your sit bones. Then continuing to squeeze through your shoulder blades, very slowly unrotate just your shoulder joints and place your hands down on your thighs. Lengthen your neck a little bit more if you've got it in you, and then settle your chin towards your throat. Okay, so 5-4-3-2-1 grounding. You cannot begin with your eyes closed because the first sense we're going to tackle is your vision. So open your eyes, look around your room, and as you look around your room, count 5 things that you see. And then once you've done that, gently close your eyes Make sure to rest the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Now with your eyes closed, that sense is done. Let's go to 4. Go ahead and really listen in your room. And as you're listening, pick up the sounds of 4 different things that you hear. Keeping your eyes closed, let's move on to 3. So now let's go to the sense of feel. So pick 3 things that you currently feel. It can be your feet on the floor, your hands on your thigh, your bottom on the chair, maybe your waistband. Just go through 3 things that you feel. Finally, making it to 2, the scent that we're going to highlight with 2 is smell. So this gives you the opportunity to take 2 nice deep inhales and see what you smell. Now, hopefully, you've taken a shower in the last day or 2, and it's not your body odor that you smell, but allow yourself just to take a nice deep inhale in. And then as you exhale, pick out what it is that you smell. And do that a second time for me. And our very last one to do is taste. Now, here's the thing. With taste, oftentimes it's difficult to really taste what you're doing unless you're currently consuming, eating, or drinking something. But here's what I would like you to do for 1. First, just take a moment to lick your lips. Is there a taste on your lips? If not, then take a swallow. As you swallow, is there something that you taste? Once you've figured out, no, yes, whatever it is, the final thing that you want to do in this grounding experience is just to take a moment to be grateful for something. It can be something simple and objective in your life. It can be a person. It can be a moment. I am grateful for fill in the blank. Very good. Then just open your eyes. So just returning to this so that you can remember it, and you'll be able to watch the video later if you want. It's called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding. So it's about the 5 senses. So you start with your sight, you then go to your hearing, you then go to your touch, you then go to your smell, and you end with your taste. Once you've gone through feeling all 5 senses, you take a moment to be grateful and find gratitude in something or maybe just that near moment. All right, so we're going to begin with the next thing in sitting, which is me pulling something way out from about 10, 15 years ago when I took one of my very first introductory sitting yoga classes. It was up in Virginia in Yogaville when I was there for a weekend continuing education in learning how to teach chair yoga. So we're going to try sun salutations in sitting. So for those of you that have been taking yoga long enough, you know that sun salutations or Surya Namaskar is a way to begin your class that is a little bit of a flow of movement with the flow of breath. So we're going to go through this a few times. The first time you might need to watch me a little bit closer because you've never likely done this before. And then the second 2 times that we do it, I'm going to allow you to maybe close your eyes and really see if you can match your breath with your movement. All right, so let's give it a try. Bring your hands to the center of your heart. Take a nice deep inhale and lift your hands nice and high. And then as you exhale, drop your hands and place them on your thighs. Inhale, lift your chest, feel the weight onto your hands, lengthen through the front of your neck. And then when you exhale, start to drop your belly down on your thighs, lengthen through the back of your neck, drop your head down, and relax your hands down towards the floor. Inhale, place both of your hands on your right thigh as you push yourself back upward. Wrap your hands around your leg and exhale, bring your knee to your chest. Inhaling, placing the leg back down on the floor, exhaling the hands to your center of your heart. All right, let's try that with the left leg. Inhaling up, and then exhaling, hands all the way down, and then place the hands on your thigh. Inhale, backward bend, lengthen through the neck, look up if you can. And then as you exhale, weight through the hands first. Drop the belly to the thighs, chest to the knees, neck drops down, gaze below you, drop your hands. Inhale, both hands to the left thigh as you come up, wrap the thigh, exhale, pull the knee to the chest. Inhaling, leg back down, and then exhaling, hands to heart. All right. Let's speed it up a little bit to get through our second 2 times. Take a nice deep inhaling up, exhaling, dropping those hands down and then placing them on the thighs. Inhaling, lengthening through the front of your body. And then exhaling, forward folding all the way down. Hands to the right leg. Inhale, pushing yourself back up, grabbing the leg. Exhaling, knee to chest. Inhaling, dropping the leg down, exhaling, hands to heart. Inhaling, lifting nice and high, and then exhaling, dropping the hands downward, placing them on the thighs. And then inhaling, lengthening through the front of your body, neck gazing upward. Exhaling, folding the belly down, dropping the head downward. Inhaling, hands to the left thigh, pushing yourself up, grabbing the left thigh, exhaling, knee to chest. Inhaling, back to the leg to the floor, exhaling, hands to heart. One more round. See if you can breathe the whole time through it, ladies and gentlemen. Inhaling nice and high. And then exhaling, dropping the hands down towards the thighs. Inhaling, lifting through the front of the body. And then exhaling, folding the body and the back of the neck downward, dropping the arms. Hands to the right thigh. Inhaling, lifting up, grabbing the thigh, and exhaling, pulling knee to chest. Inhaling, dropping the thigh down, and exhaling, hands to heart. Inhaling nice and high, and then exhaling, dropping the hands downward towards the thighs. Inhaling, lengthening through the front of the body. And then exhaling, folding over the thighs, dropping the head down, looking behind you. Hands to the left thigh. Push and inhale yourself up. Grab that left thigh and exhale, pulling that knee into your chest. Inhaling, dropping the legs down, and exhaling, hands to heart. So sun salutation in sitting, a nice easy way to kind of begin your day. We will practice it maybe in another class or 2. Now let's move on to the shoulders and chest for the remainder of the class. So let's begin with opening up a little tiny bit through our shoulders. So keeping your left hand onto your left thigh, take your right hand and just gently bring it across and grab a hold of your left shoulder. Left hand, come underneath the right shoulder and grab it. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, pull your shoulder blades down. Take a nice deep inhale here, and on the exhale, begin to pull the elbow across the body. See if you can get your elbow to line up with your left ear if you can. Keep the shoulder blade back and down. Keep the spine nice and tall. Keep weight through your feet. Holding that position right there. Take a nice deep inhale in. And then as you exhale, can you get a little bit more of a glide of that elbow towards that left side? One more breath, deep inhale in. And exhaling, slowly pulling that elbow across the body. Inhaling, releasing the arm down, and then exhaling, relaxing here. All right, left arm, taking it up towards the right shoulder, right shoulder, yes. And then right hand, taking it underneath the left elbow. Shoulder blade, pulling it back and down, lengthening the neck nice and long, settling the chin into your throat. Take a deep inhale here, and then on the exhale, pulling that elbow across towards that right shoulder. Now make sure to pull that shoulder down on the left side, sit up nice and tall. Keep weight into your feet, so don't let yourself roll backwards. Nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, left shoulder towards that right ear. Can you get the alignment? Shoulder down on the left side, nice deep inhale in. And then exhaling here. Inhaling, releasing the shoulder, exhaling, maybe a shoulder roll through both of the shoulders. Now, taking our hands behind our body. So several options for this. So I'm going to show you all three just by turning my body around. You don't need to do that. So option number one is just to interlace your hands behind your body. Option number two, you can clasp your forearms one on top of the other. Option number three, you can take your hands and do a prayer pose to the center of your back. So you pick whichever one is working for you today, and then just stick with it. Now that you have your hands behind your back, I want you to think about the length of your collarbones, because what we're going to do is inhale into our chest and lengthen our collarbones outward. What I don't want you to do is just to backward bend and shorten your collarbones backwards. So it's not about just opening here. It's about finding the space through the top of the chest. So pick your hand placement that you're choosing for the day. Weight into the feet. Make sure you feel that you're sitting onto your base of support. Neck nice and long and chin gently tucked in. And then take a nice deep inhale into the top of your chest. Literally feel the stretch of the chest and feel your shoulder blades lengthen. And then as you exhale, relax that air out. One more time. Nice deep inhale. Lengthening the shoulder blades, and then as you exhale, relaxing that air out. Very nice. Taking your hands back to the front, working through eagle arms now. So if you have tight shoulders, we're just going to repeat what we just did. If you want to get a little bit deeper into your shoulders, you can try eagle arms with me. So start with your arms out in a T formation. Take a deep inhale here. And then on your exhale, cross your left arm underneath your right arm. And then bend your elbows and see, can you touch your palm to your palm? Once you have that, focus on this right shoulder. Take that right shoulder and pull it down. Sit up nice and tall. Weight into your feet. Take a deep inhale into the top of your chest, feel the stretch through your shoulder blades, and then as you exhale, imagine that you're trying to pull your elbows forward away from your body. Deep inhale in between those shoulder blades, and then as you exhale, pulling those elbows away from your body. Last deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, relax the arms, bring them down, roll the shoulders for a moment. Right, bringing the arms out to the side again. This time, doing the opposite side. Taking the left hand on top of the right. So the right elbow is underneath, bending the elbows and seeing if you can place the palms towards one another. Now focus on your left shoulder. Drop that shoulder down so that you don't have your ear and your shoulder too close to one another. Sit nice and tall, weight through your feet. Take a deep inhale here into that upper chest. Feel the stretch through the upper part of your back. And then as you exhale, can you pull your elbows slightly forward? Nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, can you pull those elbows forward? Deep inhale here. And then exhaling, relaxing the arms downward. All right. We're moving down onto our knees for a second. Now we're going to be doing a pose or a stretch for the upper part of our spine. So what I would like you to do is find your way onto your knees and turn your chair so that you can still see me. Once you have yourself in that position, if you have sensitive knees, you can double up your yoga mat. But what we're going to be working on doing is resting our arms onto the chair. So find yourself in a position that you can rest your elbows on your chair, and it looks like your knees and your hips are somewhat stacked or vertical from one another. Once you're in that position, we're ready to give this particular exercise or yoga pose a try. Now, here's what I want you to do. If you have really tight shoulders, keep your elbows the width of your chair and bring your hands to palms. If you don't have really tight shoulders and you want to get even more flexibility in your shoulders, don't cause pain. It's okay to have a bit of tension, but don't cause pain. Can you bring your elbows to touch one another? And can you bring your forearms to touch and your palms to touch? Either way, what I'd like you to now do is to rest your head downward between your arms. Once you rest your head downward between your arms, you're going to take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, you're dropping your rib cage towards the floor. You will feel the stretch through your shoulder and through the middle of your back. So take a nice deep inhale here, and on the exhale, slowly drop that chest towards the floor. Deep inhale here. Exhale, drop that chest towards the floor. Now, stay here for me for one breath. Can you take a deep inhale into your belly and let your belly, let it fall towards the floor? And then as you exhale, can you pull your belly up and in and tighten your abdominals? One more time. Inhale, let the belly fall downward. And then as you exhale, pull the belly up and in. Excellent. Slowly walk yourself up from that pose. Take your chair and gently move your chair away from you. We're now making it down towards the floor. When you make your way down towards the floor, make sure that you have the ability to have range of motion all the way around your yoga mat. And so for me, I'm going to move my yoga mat a little bit further away from my settee so that when we do arm circles today, so let me just demonstrate for you guys, when we do arm circles, you'll need to have enough room behind you that you don't hit anything. And so if you're doing this at home by yourself, make sure that there's just a clearance around your entire yoga mat. If you're doing it with somebody else in the room as well, just make sure that you both have sufficient room to do this. Okay, now that you've checked that you have adequate range of room around your yoga mat, find yourself onto your hands and knees, please. Making our way to our hands and knees, allowing ourselves to first check in that we have appropriate hip distance. So that's 2 fists between our knees, stacking our 2 fists between our knees, and then taking a look behind and seeing, can I see my feet or my heels so that I've got appropriate alignment of my knees to my ankles and feet. Hips directly stacked on top of the knees, walking the hands forward so that you're in the position that your elbows and wrists are directly underneath your shoulders. Now let's go through some cat-cows here before we move on with the next thing for our shoulders. Lengthen the neck, settle the chin. Gaze downward between your hands. Take a nice deep inhale and sink your belly and sink your spine and lift your tailbone and pull the shoulder blades back. Lengthen your neck and look upward. And then as you exhale, start with your belly and pull your belly up and in. Arch through your back, tuck your tailbone, spread your shoulder blades, lengthen your neck, tuck your chin into your chest and gaze to your belly button. Inhaling, sink belly, sink spine, lift tailbone, shoulder blades back, lengthen neck and look upward. And then as you exhale, curl everything under, tuck that tailbone, take that chin to your chest and bring your gaze towards your belly. One more time for me, please. Inhale, sink the belly, sink the spine, lift the tailbone, shoulder blades back and down, lengthen through the neck and look upward. And then as you exhale, curl everything under that you've got, chuck your chin and look into your belly button. Now slowly settle yourself back into child's pose, taking the sit bones towards the heel bones, allowing the belly to rest downward with your tailbone tucked under, chest towards your knees, lengthen your neck, and crown of your head towards the mat. Gently allow yourself to just let your arms rest to the side of you. Now resting here and finding some nice, good, relaxing breaths into your diaphragm. So just take a deep inhale into your belly and exhaling out. Nice deep inhale into your belly and exhaling outward. And one more time, nice deep inhale into the belly and exhaling outward. Very nice. Moving yourself back up into hands and knees, starting to work now through thread the needle. So we're going to do this with our right arm first. What I want you to do is make sure that you have your alignment of your shoulders underneath your wrists. Take a look at where your right wrist and hand are right now. Take an inhale, reach your right arm up to the side of your body, and as you exhale, thread the needle of the arm underneath the left. Rest your right shoulder where your right wrist and hand just were. Once you've done that, lengthen through your neck. Allow yourself to settle your right ear onto the mat. Maybe check in for a moment that your hips are still directly stacked on top of your knees. And then very slowly start to slide the left arm up towards the top of your mat. Now, once you're in that position, take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, pull the left armpit downward towards the floor. Resting the right ear onto the mat, keeping the neck nice and long, taking a deep inhale, and on the exhale, pulling that left armpit down towards that right elbow. Holding right here, take a deep inhale into your belly, and exhaling outward. One more breath, nice deep inhale in, and exhaling out. Sliding the left hand back and then using the strength of your triceps to push yourself back up to hands and knees. Repeating everything on the left side. So check in, you haven't lost your alignment of your legs, particularly your hips to your knees. With your left hand, inhale, reach your arm out to the side, and as you exhale, sweep that hand through. Place the left shoulder where the left hand just was on the mat. Once you're in that position, allow yourself to find a nice, good space between your left ear and your left shoulder. Gently allow yourself, as long as there's no pain in the right shoulder, to slowly slide the right shoulder upward. Then, taking a nice deep inhale, on the exhale, pulling the right armpit down towards the left arm or left elbow. Nice deep inhale inward. Exhale, pulling that right armpit down towards that left elbow. Now, resting here. Take a deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling outward. Deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling outward. Slowly sliding the right arm back, using the strength of your triceps and pushing yourself back up. Finding yourself in hands and knees, going through 3 cat-cows back to child's pose. So take a nice deep inhale. And sink the belly, spine, lift the tailbone, shoulder blades up, lengthen through that neck now. And as you exhale, curl everything up and under, tuck that chin to chest. Inhale, how much can you lengthen through the front of your body? And then as you exhale, how much can you curl and lengthen through the back of your body? One more time, inhaling, letting the tailbone lift, lengthening through the front of the neck and looking upward. And then as you exhale, tucking that tailbone, lengthening through the back of the neck, chin to chest, and gaze at that belly button. Slowly sitting on back into your child's pose. Resting your chest towards your knees, lengthening through the back of the neck and allowing the crown of the head to fall towards the floor, dropping the elbows gently down, resting here. Take a nice deep inhale into your belly. And then exhaling outward. Deep inhale into your belly. And then exhaling outward. Slowly making your way back up to hands and knees. We're going to play with doing puppy pose today. So puppy pose accomplishes the same thing that we did with the chair on our knees. So again, it's the same idea. If you had difficulty doing the chair pose because you don't have enough shoulder range of motion, this might be the way to open up your upper back, okay? So here's what I want you to do. Rest your elbows down onto the floor so that your elbows and your shoulders are stacked, but check in that your hips and knees are still in alignment. Now, once you're in that position, all I want you to do is to take your chest bone, your sternum, and slowly walk your hands outward as you drop your sternum towards the floor. If you have adequate shoulder range of motion, you can allow your arms to gently go out in front of you. If you have adequate neck range of motion, you can allow your neck to lengthen and have your chin touching the floor as you gaze towards your thumbs. In this position, take a deep inhale into your belly. This is an inversion pose, so it really helps you get that diaphragm moving. And then as you exhale, pull your belly up and in. One more breath, deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling here. Slowly walking your hands back and pushing yourself back up onto your hands and knees. All right, now we're making our way down to our side. We're going to start with laying on our left side. What I would like you to do, if you need a towel or a block or something for your head, feel free to do that. If you're using something for your head, that will help you keep your neck in a little bit of alignment. It'll also stop you if you have any sort of vestibular or vertigo issues. So the options for using something for your head, you could use a small pillow, you could use a folded up towel, or you can even use a yoga block, whichever is more comfortable for you. If you have excellent range of motion of your neck, no issues with your vestibular system, you can also just gently allow your head to rest down. So it's really whichever is more comfortable for you. Now, in this position, we're going to be tackling both shoulders from the same side lie position. We're going to begin with the lower shoulder on this side and then do the upper shoulder on this side before we switch positions. So starting here, have your left arm straight out in front of you. Check in that your hips are stacked one on top of the other, knees are stacked, shin bones are stacked, and lined up with the outside of your mat. Also, make sure that your rib cage is stacked, your shoulders are one on top of the other, and that you have yourself in a position that you feel weight through your right or your left shoulder. Now, right hand has nothing to do yet, so just gently rest it onto your right thigh area. Take your left hand and bend your elbow 90 degrees. Now, check in that your elbow and your shoulder are perfectly in alignment with one another. And then turn your palm so that your palm faces towards your right knee. Now, take your right hand and place it up and over onto the top of the left forearm. Resting in this side position, not allowing your trunk to rotate forward or backward. Take a nice, gentle, deep inhale here. And then on the exhale, very slowly start to let your arm fall downward towards the mat so that your fingertips are pointing towards your knees. Now, can you take a moment to check in for me? Is your elbow still in alignment with your shoulder? Is your weight still shoulder on top of shoulder, or have you rolled to the front or to the back? Once you're here, this is a stretch for the capsule of your shoulder. So you may not feel a lot of a stretch, or you may feel a lot of stretch, depending on if your shoulder is tight. In the physical therapy world, this is often called the sleeper stretch. So for individuals that sleep on their side, this is the type of stretch or movement you want to do in the morning when you first wake up. Take a deep inhale into your belly. And then slowly exhale. See if you can settle your palm towards the mat any further. Nice deep inhale into your belly. And as you exhale, slowly trying to settle that palm. One more deep inhale in. And exhaling out. Slowly inhaling, bringing the arm up and relaxing the arm. So who should really be doing that particular stretch in the morning to kind of open up your shoulders and your chest? If you're that person that unfortunately is still sleeping in this type of position, or you tend to place your arm underneath you, oh boy, if you have shoulder problems, this is the type of thing you need to be working on so that you don't cause shoulder problems over time. All right, let's move on to tackling the right shoulder now. So take your left hand and go ahead and grab the top of your right thigh. With your left leg, straighten it out onto the mat. So now where you have yourself positioned is that your left leg is straight on the mat, your right hip is bent, your knee is bent, and you have your leg secured to the mat. What that's going to do is it's going to allow us to not stretch into our low back, but keep this stretch as a focus to our rib cage, our shoulders, chest, upper back, and neck. Then take your right hand and place your hand on the floor in front of you. Take a gaze at your right thumb. Keep your gaze at your right thumb. And all we're simply going to do, and if you've not done this before, you can watch me for a moment on the screen. Simply take your gaze and move your hand up and over. When your arm reaches your ear, turn your palm and allow yourself to keep gazing as you roll and circle your arm to your bum. Once you make it there, slowly come all the way over and begin again. So at home, try 2 or 3 of these on your own. Keep the gaze with the thumb so that the neck moves with the body. When the arm gets to the ear, turn your palm upward as you continue to rotate all the way behind you, and then bring the arm back up and over. Follow the thumb throughout the entire movement. All right, now here's what I'd like you to do. Find a point in your arm circle where your arm begins to come off the floor, wherever it is for you. It might be that you feel a stretch in the front of your chest. It might be that your shoulder is so tight, you're above your head and you're feeling the stretch in the side of your rib cage. It might be far behind you and you're feeling it in your abdominals or in your spine. Pick a place in your arm circle that is tight for you. Keep your right knee on the floor. Gaze wherever your arm is. Take a deep inhale into your belly, and then as you exhale, try to lengthen your arm away from you. and then gently rest it as close to the floor as you can. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling nice and deeply, reaching that arm, and then as you exhale, can you get it towards the floor even further? 1 more breath, deep inhaling in the rib cage, and then as you exhale, lengthen that arm and slowly drop it to the floor. Now begin to continue your arm circle all the way around, ending at the front of you again. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to switch back to doing one last stretch in this position for the left arm. So take your right arm and gently rest it back onto your right thigh. Take your left arm and go straight out in line with your shoulder again. From here, take your right leg and just gently slide it down so that you stack it on top of your left leg. All you now want to do is roll your entire body forward on the mat as you roll onto your left shoulder. You can rest your right hand down if you want. Have your left palm so that the palm is upward. And then in this position, the easier pose is just to rest the left ear towards the mat. The more difficult pose is to come to your chin, or you can even attempt to do a gentle rotation away from you with your neck. Take a nice deep inhale in, and then as you exhale, right shoulder, pull the right shoulder towards the floor. Feel the stretch into the left shoulder joint. 1 more breath, deep inhaling in. And then as you exhale, allow that right shoulder to fall towards the floor. Very nice. Now, slowly coming up onto your right elbow, taking the left elbow and finding yourself in Sphinx Pose, just a moment. We're going to be repeating everything on the opposite side. So depending on where you are to your camera, you can just now roll over onto your right side. I am going to do a 180 on my mat so I stay facing you so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. So if you are at home and you're going to do a 180 on your mat, the easy thing to do is to bring your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your tailbone under, push yourself back to child's pose, come up to hands to knees to rotate to the opposite side. All right. Join me laying on your right side, and once we are all there, we will continue tackling these shoulders in side lie. So let's check in with our alignment here for a moment. So are your knees stacked? Are your hips at 90? Are your shin bones lined up with your mat? Can you check in that your rib cage is not rotated and shoulder is stacked on top of shoulder? And if you're using something for your head, placing that underneath your head. Right arm is straight out in front of you, palm is lifted. Left arm not really doing anything right now, so just resting it onto your left thigh. Beginning with stretching the shoulder capsule onto the right arm here. So take your right elbow and bend it 90 degrees. And check in that your elbow still lines up with your shoulder. And then simply, this is called pronation, but turn your hand so that your palm faces towards your knees. From here, take your left hand and come up and over and place it onto the top of your right forearm. Keeping your body in alignment, begin with a nice deep inhale, and then on your exhale, slowly start to bring your palm down towards your mat so that your fingertips are pointing towards your knees. Keep your elbow and your shoulder in alignment. Feel the stretch through the joint here. You're not stretching muscle as much as you're actually stretching the deep connective tissue of your shoulder. Allow yourself to hold this position. Check in that you haven't lost any alignment. Make sure that your top shoulder is still stacked and you haven't rolled back or you haven't rolled forward. And then let's begin working on some breathing here. So don't be pushing so hard that you're feeling that your body rotates off of your shoulder. Just give it a subtle enough of a stretch that you feel tension in your right shoulder. Now take a nice deep inhale into your belly. And then gently exhaling outward as you slowly try to relax and settle the right hand towards the floor. Deep inhaling inward. Exhaling, settling that hand and that forearm towards the floor. And take one more deep inhaling here. And exhaling. Inhaling, gently unrotating the arm and just kind of resting it out to the side for a moment. And then moving on now to opening up through the chest and the side of the rib cage on the left shoulder. So taking your left leg and keeping it bent, taking your right leg and straightening it perfectly down your mat. Right arm is now going to grab that left thigh. And again, why are we doing this? It's going to allow us not to compromise our low back and make this entire rotational stretch about the rib cage, the shoulder, upper back, and the neck. And take your right hand now, rest it on the floor in front of you, and keep your gaze with your thumb. As you keep your eyes with that left thumb, you'll move your neck with your rib cage. So slowly start to turn the arm circle upward. When your arm gets to your ear, turn your palm up and continue your rotation all the way around. Once you get to your bum, move up and over and try it again. So try 2 or 3 times on your own. Keep your gaze on your thumb. Rotate up. When your arm gets to your ear, turn your palm down and continue rotating all the way around. Make sure Mr. Left Knee stays on the floor. Palm down. Follow the thumb all the way around. Turn the palm up and continue rotating all the way around. Now, this time, pick where it is in your arm circle that you cannot maintain contact with the floor. So if it's over your head that you lose contact with the floor, you're going to be focusing on opening up through your latissimus muscle or the side of your rib cage. If it's behind you that you're going to be losing the floor, you're going to be opening up through the front of the chest and rib cage. If it's all the way behind you, then you're going to be opening up through the abdominals and the rib cage. So you pick for you where it is that you want to focus on your stretch. Gaze where your thumb is so that your neck is not in an end range rotation. Take a deep inhale into your chest, and on your exhale, lengthen that arm away, and then relax the arm closer to the floor. Deep inhale into your chest and rib cage. As you exhale, lengthening that arm away and resting it closer to the floor. One more time. Nice deep inhaling in. And lengthening on the exhale and dropping that arm closer to the floor, completing your arm circle and coming up and over your body. Very nice. Now let's go back to that right shoulder for one more stretch. So from here, take the right arm and lengthen it out so that it's straight in line with your shoulder. Palm is up onto the floor. Take your left leg now and slowly stack your feet, your shins, your thighs, and everything one on top of the other. Simply all you're going to do is roll your body up and onto your right arm. So take a deep inhale here, and on the exhale, begin to roll that body onto that right arm, feeling the stretch through the right shoulder. Now you can keep your right ear towards the mat, or if you want to make it a little bit more difficult, you can take your chin towards the mat or slightly look behind you to get a rotation through your neck. Regardless of which way you're positioning your neck, start to now focus on your left shoulder. Take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, pull your left shoulder towards the floor, feeling that stretch into your right arm. Deep inhale inward. And then as you exhale, pulling that left shoulder towards the floor. Deep inhale inward. And exhaling here. Slowly bringing the left hand underneath your left shoulder and making your way into Sphinx Pose. Now, if you were using something for your head for support, you can go ahead and remove it. We are done with it. We're going to be now resting and doing a couple of opening through our chest and strengthening through our back, laying on our belly. So for those of you that might have a sensitive low back, meaning it doesn't necessarily like you laying on your belly, it doesn't like the extension that's happening here, you can use that same pillow or towel and gently rest it underneath your abdomen so that your low back is not in end range extension, creating any sort of inflammation or tenderness. All right, so from here, allow yourself to come out into T formation. So find yourself in the position that you are perfectly in a T with your arms. Check in that your legs are about hip distance behind you. Take a moment here to take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, just use your abdominals and tighten yourself to find a little bit of opening through your low back. So we're going to focus on our right chest first. So take your left hand and place it directly underneath your left shoulder. Take your gaze and turn your gaze towards your left fingertips. Take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, slowly start to straighten your left elbow like you're peeling yourself off the floor, but keep your right arm in contact with the floor. Nice, good strengthening for your left tricep here, but really nice opening for your chest on your right side. Allow yourself to take a deep inhale into your chest. And then as you exhale, can you straighten that left elbow anymore? Take your gaze with you. Deep inhaling in. And then as you exhale, can you lift and open up through that right shoulder any further? Slowly dropping yourself back down. Allowing yourself now to rest the left arm out to the side, right hand underneath the shoulder. I'm going to be a little bit facing away from you so I don't have to change positions, but placing your right hand under your shoulder, turning your gaze to the right. Keep your gaze rotated to the right. Start with a deep inhale, and on the exhale, lift up and straighten through that right elbow. Use your triceps. Feel that stretching through your left chest. Nice deep inhaling here. And then as you exhale, can you straighten that right elbow anymore and open up through that left chest? Last deep inhale. And then exhaling, dropping yourself back down to the mat, resting your arms out into an aligned position. Now, all of you at home, what I would like you to do is to rest the crown of your head straight onto the mat. So allow yourself to have so that your brow and your hairline is the place that you're resting on your mat. So it's a nice neutral position for your neck. Keep your chin tucked in. And listen to me as we go through some nice strengthening through our middle back now that we've really opened up through our chest. So in this position, have your arms so that they're perfectly in a T formation. Neck is long, chin is tucked inward. Relaxing through your legs, but keeping your abdominals slightly engaged so that your back is not in extension or end range extension. From here, pull your shoulder blades back and down. Turn your thumbs up like you just started hitchhiking. Take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, lift your arms 2 to 3 inches off the floor. Take another deep inhale, and then on the exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades back and down as much as you can. Holding here, deep inhale in, deep exhale out. Deep inhale in, Deep exhale out and dropping the arms back down, resting the head either to the right or to the left side. Repeating this all over again. Dropping your forehead down so the crown of the head is resting, the chin is tucked into the throat. Allow your abdominals to be engaged so that your spine is not in end range extension. Turn those thumbs up for me. Shoulder blades are back and down. Take a deep inhale here. Lift your arms 2 inches. And then as you exhale, pull your elbows back and down. Maintaining here, deep inhale into the chest. Keep your abdominals tightened. Exhaling, keeping those shoulder blades pulled back and down. Thumbs are up. One more time. Deep inhale in, and then exhaling back and down. Dropping your arms back down, allowing your head to rest in the opposite position it did from the first time. Very nice. Now, take your arms, rest your elbows at the height of your shoulders, and place your arms so that you have yourself in what I like to call goal pose position. But basically, it's 90-90 between your elbows, 90-90 between your trunk and your upper arms. In this position, turn your thumbs down towards the floor. You've got it. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin so that the crown of your head is resting towards the floor. Once you are here, pull your shoulder blades back and down. Take an inhale and lift your arms, your entire forearm, 2 to 3 inches off the floor. And as you exhale, pull your elbows back and down. Now, with your pinkies, can you pull your pinkies up towards the ceiling? Rest your head down onto the crown of your head, tighten your abdominals. Take a deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, can you pull your elbows back and down and lift your pinkies? 2 more breaths. Deep inhale in. Exhale, pull your elbows down and lift your pinkies. 1 more time, ladies and gentlemen. Deep inhale in. Exhale, pull the elbows down and lift the pinkies. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, drop your arms down, drop your head down. Take your palms and place them underneath your shoulders. Use your strength of your elbows, your deltoids, and your abdominals, and push yourself up and slowly find yourself into child's pose. As you're bringing yourself into child's pose, resting here for me, settle your tailbone down, rest your belly onto your thighs, chest onto your knees, lengthen your neck, settle yourself all the way down. Take a nice deep inhale into your belly and then slowly exhaling outward. 2 more breaths. Deep inhale into your belly and then exhaling outward. And 1 more breath, deep inhaling in and exhaling outward. Now, slowly coming up from child's pose, allowing yourself to lay on your right or your left side, and then very slowly taking yourself over onto your back. As you roll yourself onto your back, kind of adjust yourself so you feel like you're in the center of your mat. Roll your shoulders underneath you, lengthen through your neck, allow your chin to settle onto the floor. Take your left foot and place it to the center of your mat. And take your right leg and gently bring it up and over your left. Arms are gently relaxing down. We are done with the arms. We're just going to do a very gentle rotation through our trunk. So in this position, try to have your legs as close to one another as you can. The right leg is going to perform the trunk rotation today. So take a nice deep inhale here, and then on your exhale, slowly let both knees fall towards the right. Feel your pelvis lift. Feel your rib cage lift. Feel everything lift until you get to the point that you start to feel your left shoulder blade lift. Then take your left arm out to the side of your body. Lengthen it away from you. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and slowly turn and gaze to your left thumb. And take a deep inhale into your belly and exhaling out. Nice deep inhale into your belly and exhaling out. Slowly bringing your head back to the center, starting at your left shoulder blade and slowly starting to unrotate shoulder blade to the floor, low back to the floor, pelvis to the floor until the knees come to their upright position. And then uncross the leg, rest the right foot to the floor. Take the left leg and cross it over the right. Have your thighs as close to one another as you can. Take a deep inhale here, and on the exhale, letting the knees fall to the left, feeling the stretch through the right hip, lifting the pelvis, lifting the low back, lifting the rib cage. When you begin to feel the right shoulder blade lift, bringing the arm out to the side and lengthening it. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and then slowly turn your gaze to your right thumb. Take a deep inhale here. And exhaling out. Nice deep inhaling in. And exhaling out. Starting back with unrotating from your head first, and then going to your shoulder blade and rib cage and slowly letting them unrotate, followed by your low back, followed by your pelvis until your knees are upright. Uncrossing your legs and very gently taking your right knee to your chest, followed by your left knee to your chest. Allow yourself a moment here just to kind of rock out. Allowing your knees to gently fall to your chest. Make sure not to cross your legs. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Take a deep inhale here. Followed by a nice, slow exhale out of your mouth. Gently rest one foot back down to the floor, followed by the other. And then keeping your abdominals engaged for a moment, slide your right leg down to the right corner of your mat and your left leg down to the left corner of your mat. Have yourself nice and settled. Allow yourself to roll your shoulder blades underneath you. Allow your palms to lift upward. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin. Keep your eyes open. Let's go one more time through 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, grounding. 5. Look at 5 things. Gently close your eyes. 4. Hear 4 things. 3. Feel 3 things. 2. Smell 2 things. So take that deep inhale in through your nose. And out. One more time. Deep inhale in. And out. 1. Taste. Gently lick your lips. Maybe even take a swallow. And finally, take this last moment to find gratitude. What are you thankful and grateful for today? Gently start to wiggle your fingers and your toes and maybe some circles with your ankles and your wrists. And then start with taking one leg up followed by the other. And then gently allow yourself to roll over onto your side. Just rest here for a moment. Take a nice deep inhale in and exhaling out. And then when you feel like you're ready, using your top hand on your exhale, allowing yourself to find your way up into a seated position, easy pose on your mat. Resting here, taking your hands to the center of your heart. Nice big smile on your face. Nice deep inhale in and out. The highest in me salutes the highest in you.